even at this day and age, we still have to deal with Karens and racism. So if y'all haven't saw, there was this lady that said that this black guy was chasing her and he didn't live in the neighborhood. So I'm just gonna play the video and then I'll show you guys her response at the end, and she tried to justify her actions.
What's going on?
She picks up her
Do you
kid
live
out the
here?
stroller.
You do? Papa. I don't believe that. What? I don't believe that. So what are you doing? Rory, come on. Rory, come on.
She picks her kid up out the stroller and then runs away and asks the guy, "Do you live here?" He said, "Yes." And she says, "I don't believe you. I don't know how much, like, I don't owe you any proof. You're at my house. Why would you come?" Like, there's a lot of things she could have just did to avoid this whole situation. Yes, you heard correctly. That was her yelling help.
Someone come here?
That was my wife. Somebody chased her up here. And she had the kids.
Who chased her?
She said somebody in a silver
guy
truck.
in a gray truck, and he came
So
around the corner,
I don't know if you guys have a
I was
reading.
in the street, and so I come up, and I just have my kids, and so I'm like gonna pretend that I'm coming home, and so I pull up and I start walking to your back gate, and he stops here and he goes, "Are you looking for someone?" And I said, "Nope," and then he sat here, and I was like, "I need to get in."
Well, that's my husband. That's why.
And you guys can clearly hear her lying because that wasn't the exchange. She asked that man, "Does he live here?" He says yes. She says, "I don't believe you."
He lives here. Yeah. He lives here. So he came in and he said there's a lady screaming, and I'm like, that's.
She got all worried. That she
Scared the crap out of me.
How?
I'm so sorry.
How did he scare you though?
I just seen her in the driveway and I was like, "Are you looking for somebody?" Because I was pulling up out
And I
home.
saw someone walking in our driveway too, and I'm like, why is someone walking in our driveway?
Well, I'm
Well, there
sorry.
we got it. All right, sorry.
What? She said that someone was following her. So you were walking from there?
You came this way, didn't you?
No, I came down this street right here.
Yeah.
And I was riding slow because I'm looking at our Christmas lights.
Well, you just have to understand my point of view.
No. And this is where they try to play victim. You have to understand my point of view. I can't understand your point of view because I will never walk up to somebody's home and say, "Do you live here?" So that's why I can't understand your point of view. Secondly, that's where we mind our business. Third of all, if somebody says, "Hey, I live here," then just walk the hell away and call the cops if that's how you feel. Don't cause this mass problem. Say, "Hey, there's this guy chasing me," and grab your kids and run off. Like, what the fuck? Like, lady, there's cameras. like, I don't understand. Like, what made you? I don't. Who knows?
Being by myself with two kids, I just saw a car coming, and so I was like, "Oh, it scared me," and so I just pulled up here, and I kept thinking.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be walking by yourself with two kids if you feel like somebody's gonna be attacked. Like, wait for your husband to go walk with your kids. There's other things you can do. You could call other moms to walk with you. You can call other people. You don't have to walk with the two kids by yourself, and then the moment you see a black person, you're gonna be like, "Oh my God." Like, our presence alone is that scary? Question mark.
This could be his house, but you didn't say this is my home. You just said, "Are you looking?" And I was like,
And he said yes, and you said, "I don't believe you."
I did. When you was on the porch, you asked me, "Did I live here?" I said, "Yeah."
And you said, no, you don't.
And you said, "I don't think you do."
It was obviously you could tell that I was really caught off guard.
Like, I'm pulling in my...
Obviously nothing. I can't. No.
It's like I'm pulling in my house. Like, this is not this neighborhood is probably one of the best neighborhoods in Ohio. You don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Well, I'm very sorry. I really hope that you're not upset with me.
Why would
Okay,
I
go
be?
in the house. Let's go.
You told me that I didn't. You said you didn't think I live here.
It was the way that you were talking. I was so sorry.
I said yes.
I'm so sorry.
That's all I said. So now we have the lady giving her response, and she literally made a half-hour video justifying her actions, rarely apologized. All she had to do was just say, I'm sorry, I messed up, I'm wrong, I was profiling this man. And we would have took that and be like, you know what, whatever, we're gonna fuck with you. At least we would have been like, you know what, at least she isn't trying to deflect. But she deflected throughout this whole bullshit ass excuse. So luckily I cut down the important parts that are needed, because there was a lot of just wasteless bullshit banter. So I'm going to give you the parts that you actually need to hear.
I posture my heart in the right way and represent everything that happened in the most genuine and authentic way. And so, long story short, November 19th kind of has caused a train wreck. And if I could say exactly what I think it is, I believe that it's a massive misunderstanding. I really do. But I just want to come.
There's no misunderstanding about you going up to somebody's house. They pull in their driveway. You ask, do they live there? They say yes. And you say, I don't believe you. Grab your kids, run off and yell, help. This, like, it's clear cut. You didn't think that that guy belonged in that neighborhood.
It was on the back end of the neighborhood. That's newer construction. And it's dark. There's not many lights back there. A lot of new builds, not homes that are established. Are you looking for someone? And at this point, he's like further by the driveway. And I said, no. And he said a second time, are you looking for someone? And so it was becoming a little more stern. And I said, no. And so I'm taking the baby jogger and I am pushing it up the stairs. There's like a couple stairs to get up. So I awkwardly am pushing my jogger up these steps. And at this point, he had backed halfway into the driveway. And so I'm sitting there and I try to keep my cool. I try to keep my calm. You can literally on a video see me heavy breathing in the Ring doorbell. And Rory rings the doorbell and nobody answers. And so I stepped back and I said, is this your home? And remember, it's dark, the street's not lit well, and I cannot see him well. And he goes, yes. And I said, I don't believe that it is.
And that right there is the perfect example of people needing to mind their fucking business. This is why white people and black people don't get along, because of women like her. Like, she's the reason why. Like, you was about to ruin this man's whole life and cause God knows what else harm to this man's life because you saw headlights and you thought something was happening. And like, you guys gotta think, she made this whole story up about the headlights and turned, like, just to justify what she's doing. Like, this isn't true, like, at all. like I'm calling bullshit. I'm not even about to sit there and play the game of, oh yeah, no, this is bullshit. That man told you this is my house, and that's that. You should have left. You should be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm about to go about my way.
And he says, this is my house. And I said, I don't think that it is. And at that point, the only reason that I said that was because truly the awkward encounter of slowing up behind me, talking to us multiple times. I'm in this frantic state. It's late at night. I got my kids, my 2 babies. The lady at the door is not answering. There's no other homes that are well established. I mean, there's construction. It's a corner house. I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm on the front porch. This truck literally is halfway up the driveway
to where they live. And also, too, maybe this is a sign that you shouldn't go working out when it's about to get dark or jogging when it's about to get dark with your 2 kids by yourself. You should wait until the morning, wait until the afternoon, or wait until your husband is around, or wait until there's other women around. Like, don't go by yourself if this is your mindset. You think people are just out to get you. Don't do shit by yourself. This is why we call bullshit in the story.
And I was like, my radar was like, nope, I don't think that this is your house. And so I said, I don't believe that this is your house. And so I'm starting to unbuckle Cash, and I grab, and I freak. I go, Rory, run.
Oh, we saw.
And so I take off the porch, and I literally run as fast as I can, screaming at the top of my lung. I'm getting all these messages, I'm so sorry. screaming at the top of my lung. I've never, ever, ever screamed the way that I screamed. And I'm running through the front yards of everybody, praying that the Ring doorbell would capture us. Finally, to get to a woman's house, I'm banging on the door. And at this point, I'm dialing 911, and I said, can I please come in? And the woman said, yes, come in. And so I'm staying there, I'm talking to the sheriff, and more than anything, I was not looking for him to come to my rescue at this point. My husband was gonna come. I'm in this woman.
So why call the cops if you weren't looking for them to come? You call the cops because you want them to come out. We don't call the cops because I just want you to stay on the phone. No, I want you to come out. So that's bullshit once again.
My husband's gonna come get me, and he says, he asked me if I want him to come out, and I said no. And so the woman then, I was at her house, she literally asked me and said, she said, I don't know how to ask this. She goes, but was it a black man? Because
I'm sorry, yo. I'm sorry.
she goes, it's a black family that lives there. And I said, no, I believe that this is a white man. He was a white man in a truck. A young white man is what I said.
Now it's a young white man.
Because that's a black family that lives there. And I said, no, I don't think that it was a black man. And then when my husband
There's
got there,
no way
I
you
stood
can
out
mistake
front,
that
and
guy.
we're still trying to get the Ring doorbell footage of me talking to
There's no way you can mistake that guy as a white man. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. No, you can't convince me otherwise.
my husband. But he asked me again, he said, what house was it? And I said, it was this house right here. And he goes, are you sure it wasn't a black guy? He goes, because that's a black family. And I said, no, I don't believe that it was a black man. And so we get in the car and we go to pick up the stroller. And I've said this a million times, I have never felt the fear that I had even just pulling up in front of the house when John opened the door to get out of the truck. The amount of...
Yeah, because you lied about what happened. That's why you had fear. You realize, like, oh, shit, this is going to make me look so fucking crazy when this gets out to the public. That's why you're fearful. You're not fearful because of something happened. Because nothing happened. Nobody chased you. Nobody was coming after you. This man was just going home. All this other stuff that you're talking about is just made up bullshit.
I've never went into like fight or flight like that before. And so he gets out of the car and he goes up to the woman's house, and a woman comes out onto the front porch and she says something along the lines like, did you forget something or did you leave something? And John laughs and he's like, yes, we did. I'm so sorry. And I get out of the car and I walk up to the woman, and I could not tell her fast enough what had happened. She walks out on the porch and I jump out of the car and I said, oh my gosh, yes, there was a man. And John was the one that said a man was following her, chasing her, following her is what I said. I use the word chasing, following me. And, so she said, I jumped out of the car and I said, I'm so sorry. I said, literally, I was pretending that your house was my house. I was walking up the driveway, and then I was like turning in. I was pretending that it was yours. And she goes, yeah, that was my husband. And so he ends up coming out and he's like, I told you this was my house. And at that point, I literally started, I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I am so sorry. And I told him, I said, sorry.
And that was the part right there. You should have believed that man when he first said so. That's just the bottom line. You should have believed that man. But you have such this hatred towards black people that when somebody tells you, I live here, you don't even believe them.
I said, this is your house. That was my words. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, this is your house. I said, I truly kept thinking, like, maybe this is his house. Maybe this is his house. And he says, well, I told you this was your house. And I said, you have to understand. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, it was such an awkward encounter. I said, the truck was like starting to slow behind me. And I'm out here with my little girl and my son. And I said, I'm a mom, and it was dark. And he said, but I told you that this was my house. He says, I was driving slow because I was looking at my Christmas lights. And once again, I said, I am so sorry. I literally could not come down from this like fight or flight. From the time that I was at the woman's house to literally 30 seconds later, telling the woman that I was just followed, to the man stepping out on the front porch and it being his house. It was like all of these different emotions. And so I'm sitting at home, literally like having this meltdown. And I kept telling John, I was so sorry. Like I felt really stupid. And So on the way home, I forgot to say that the cop was driving around our neighborhood, and I'm getting all these messages. I'm so sorry. The cop was driving around our neighborhood, and I stopped him. We stopped him, and I jumped over, rolled the window down, and I said, "I am so sorry." I said, I'm so sorry. I said, it was his house. It was a misunderstanding. I'm so sorry. He was like, "It's okay. I'm glad everything's fine." I was like, "Yes, it's fine." So I ended up, we went home. And that night when I got home, I had tears, and I was making a cup of coffee. And if you guys know me,
And this is the classic case of we can't really feel bad for this lady, is because not only did you egg this on, you don't know what type of trauma that you possibly could have caused this man and his family. To where now when they see white people, they might feel like, oh shit, are they going to run away and say we're trying to follow them? So this apology really doesn't mean anything. Thank God there's cameras, because if there weren't any cameras, this would have been a whole different nightmare, because it would have been her word against him. And we all know who people believe, and it wouldn't have been him. This man can't even just pull up in his driveway in peace. Here come the fake tears, y'all.
very dark. Yeah, so
What you did was
and
dark.
I said, I truly, like
Fuck.
60 seconds later, ran to the woman's house, and I told her that I thought he was a younger white guy. So the neighborhood, yes, it was posted on the neighborhood page. I've had some neighbors who have been very, very gracious and have reached out to us, and they know that the integrity of my family, that is not who we are. Unfortunately, there have been a lot of other people who have kind of rallied behind what's happening. And so
Rightfully
the page is
so.
crazy. There's been a lot happening within our neighborhood. The posts were taken down. I never requested the post to be taken down. I did go into our neighborhood Facebook page, and I went live, and I publicly apologized to the homeowners once again. And I will also, I try, like, truly, like, if there's anything that I can apologize for, I will. There was never racial intent. Ever. What I will apologize for is sorry for sharing the story of me being scared. I could absolutely be slower to speak. There was, I was truly just sharing the story. And so I'm sorry that I didn't necessarily think about your heart and the way that maybe it could have hurt your heart. But it was never to the neighborhood. It was me just sharing the story about a man and being a woman and my babies and the whole thing. And if you guys don't know, because I think it's important to say it, there has been multiple instances where I have actually not these scenarios, but I've actually been pursued. And
Here we go, the story. She's going to use this to justify her actions. As we all know, people do this. When they get caught up in some bullshit, they'll make up something to justify their actions.
and there was the
Because if this is the case, why would you continually go outside by yourself? Just saying. I'm not saying you can never go out. You can never go outside of your house, by yourself. But if you're in a late night environment or it's getting dark, maybe you shouldn't go outside by yourself if you have this trauma.
man in Houston that I shared about as well. And that's why I just love to give context. I love to share. I just more so, like, as a mom, like, in those lives, I said I wouldn't undo what I did. The way that I acted, the way I reacted, I would do it a million times over. Because what if that really would have happened? Texting me personally, calling me a racist pig, our direct messages, our other businesses, Crave is being attacked, and every business platform, my Facebook ratings, everything is being attacked right now.
Well, look what you caused for yourself, lady. You single-handedly ruined your own business, not us.
Everybody keeps asking for a public apology, and I wanted to get ahead of it. I don't want to just stay quiet, but I did shut my
You didn't get ahead of it. You did it after they told you to do it.
pages to private. I've explained to my Instagram exactly what I'm explaining to y'all. I absolutely am so sorry that I didn't think more of how they possibly could have felt in the moment and my reaction.
So, as you guys saw, that was her attempt to try to make us feel bad and, you know, make us feel like, you know, what she did wasn't that bad. It was just, you know, a misunderstanding. You know, that's the vibe that she wants us to pick up from this. And I'm here to tell you, you can't feel that way. This man's life was almost ruined, and God knows what could have happened to him if the cops would have came. He would have been in the system for anything. Even if they would have saw the video, it would have been the fact of his name would have been brought up in a police report of something that was completely false. And that's where these ladies failing to realize, like, he doesn't, it wouldn't have been on his record, but still, he doesn't need this in his life. Nobody, white, black, Spanish, Asian, whoever, nobody needs to be profiled by anybody. So when somebody's pulling up in a driveway that you walked into, maybe you should think, hey, this could be their house. Because if they were trying to get me, they would have just got out the car by now. Like, just mad other things he could have did. Some people are crazy, but not that crazy. You know, so let me know what you think in the comments. Do you feel sympathy for her? Was she overreacting? And is all the hate she receiving warranted? I'm out.